Dust rolled like a living thing across the barren plains, as the sun slipped behind the jagged silhouettes of the mesas, throwing long shadows over the lonely trail where old Matthew Crow rode his mule at a slow, thoughtful pace, the kind of pace only a man who had seen too many winters and buried too many memories could keep. His face was wrinkled like dried riverbeds, his beard silvered by time, his eyes quiet but holding something deeper, something dangerous, that no one noticed anymore. Most travelers avoided this route because of the notorious Black Spur Outlaws, a vicious group known for robbing, burning, and leaving no witnesses. But Matthew, frail-looking with his patched coat and trembling hands, looked like the perfect victim, weak, harmless, the kind of man who wouldn't fight back even if given a weapon. As he reached the narrow pass, the wind shifted, carrying a whistle that didn't belong to nature, followed by the sudden thundering of hooves as 6 riders surrounded him in a half-circle, faces masked, rifles raised, cruel smirks visible beneath bandanas. Their leader, Colt Murdoch, a tall brute with scars like claw marks down his face, spat into the dirt and sneered. "Old man, you picked the wrong trail. Drop your bags and maybe we'll let you hobble away." Matthew didn't speak. He simply lowered his gaze like someone used to bending beneath threats. But inside his chest something ancient stirred, a memory of drums beating under a blood-red sky, of warriors chanting in a language older than the desert itself. One outlaw yanked Matthew off his mule, slamming him to the ground, laughing when the old man groaned. "He's barely got bones left," another jeered. They tore through his satchel, finding only dried meat, a flask of water, and an old blanket, nothing worth stealing, nothing worth killing for. But outlaws killed for sport as much as they did for profit. Colt lifted his revolver, cocked the hammer, and said, "Waste him." And that was when it happened, when everything changed. As Matthew pushed himself up, the torn sleeve of his coat slid down, exposing his forearm, revealing an inked symbol so bold, so sacred, so unmistakable that every outlaw froze mid-breath, a black, spiraling war mark of the Thunder Eagle clan, one of the most feared and believed extinct tribal factions of the high desert. Stories of them were whispered around campfires, tales of warriors who moved like shadows, hunters who tracked enemies for days without rest, men who could disappear and reappear like spirits in the canyon mist. Colt took a step back, his voice suddenly hoarse. "No, no, that can't be. That clan died out 30 years ago." Matthew lifted his head, and for the first time the old man's eyes no longer looked tired. They burned with the sharp, lethal focus of a predator awakened. His voice, low and steady, rolled like distant thunder. "We do not die. We wait." Before the outlaws could react, Matthew moved, not like an old man, not like anything humanly expected for his age, but like a storm unleashed. He snatched a fallen branch, spun it with impossible precision, and cracked the first outlaw across the jaw with enough force to drop him instantly. Shock spread through the group as Matthew lunged, sliding under a rifle shot, sweeping another man's legs from beneath him, disarming a third with a twist so fluid it seemed choreographed by the wind. The desert watched in silence as the frail old figure transformed into a warrior whose movements flowed with the deadly grace of the ancient ways. But strength had its limits. And though he fought like a legend reborn, he was outnumbered, outgunned, and his breathing grew strained as the remaining outlaws regrouped and circled him again, eyes filled with fear and rage. Colt pointed his rifle with trembling hands, shouting, "Shoot him! Shoot him now!" The sky darkened, the air stilled, and Matthew whispered a prayer, in his tribal tongue, as if calling to the spirits themselves. As the sound of cocking guns echoed through the canyon, and with no help coming, no weapon in hand, and no mercy left in his enemies, the chapter closes with Matthew standing alone, blood trickling down his arm, surrounded by 6 armed killers ready to fire. But far in the distance, unseen by the outlaws, a shape moved atop the canyon ridge, watching, listening, and answering the old warrior's call.